Something is interesting about human beings. They spend their whole life trying to improve their exterior, to improve their environment, their physical and material conditions, thinking that this will bring them happiness, when in fact the real problem is inside, it is within. In other words, they put their efforts where they will have the slightest result, and where the result is needed, or at least it should be, they don't put any or none at all. We observe this easily in today's world and in the past. Currently, when you listen to politicians, business people, artists, and anyone with a public voice, that person will give some opinion regarding how the world can be better. Or with, we change the government from this ideology to the other one, the country will improve. What we need the most is education. We must invest on education. People must have more education. What we need is health. People must have a health system and care with their health. People must be healthier and more education in regards to diseases and their health, and so on and so forth. In other words, everyone has an opinion about what needs to improve outside the city where they live, the country, state, anyway, where they live. Sometimes not even an opinion, but a person makes their life goal. And most people think, if we have more money, more wealth, if people have more economical conditions, the world will be happier, better, there will be less crime, and etc. But each of these theories falls to the ground. They don't even last 5 minutes when you test them where they have already been implemented. For example, are there no corrupt people in Switzerland? There's no corrupt people in Switzerland. That's where the corrupt will usually hide their money. Am I right? Is there no poverty in Switzerland? There is. Is there no addiction in rich countries? It is the rich countries that face the plague of drugs today. It is a plague. We have a country, if I'm not mistaken, Sweden. If I'm not mistaken, a few days ago I received this information. A country considered to be one of the best countries to live in the world. They are suffering with an epidemic, with underage being recruited by crime to commit crimes. Children, youth, are being recruited by crime because, as in Brazil, if they commit a crime, they go free. Countries with their sum of people who received Nobel Prizes, people who are knowledgeable, the great Europe, the traditional Europe. Countries in Europe are facing terrible problems, social ones, problems with suicide, immigration, violence, with drugs. But what is not lacking in these countries is money, capable people. There is no shortage of intelligent people. Then you go to the West, the United States, the great cultural leader of the world, has worsened terribly in recent years. You're going to Los Angeles. It looks like you are in a third world country. You see people sleeping rough everywhere. You go to New York and you find hotels packed with people brought from other countries, immigrants with no documents. You don't know who is who. At times you find a terrorist in the midst of them. It is a social situation that intimidates. So the world seeks to improve its material conditions and its education. The schools, they invest in arts. They invest on everything that money can buy and give. I'm speaking in a general, governmental view, but in the individual, it's the same thing. What people think. At the end of the year, people usually think, I'm going to buy this, I'll buy a new car, I will travel. Anyway, they are thinking on personal accomplishments, always involving something material, thinking, if I have this, I will be happy. So they seek happiness on the outside, but none of this solves the real problem, the inside. As long as the inside of the person is empty from what they have been created to be, the image of likeness of God, divine principles, you may notice that the more a person has, with some exceptions, but the tendency is this, more physical, financial condition the person has, less principles they observe, because they have the feeling of being able to do everything. I have money, I pay. If I commit a crime, I get the best lawyer. I have powerful friends because I'm powerful because of my money. More money the person has, fewer moral principles they tend to follow, because they make their own rules. So the person is investing on the outside, thinking that this will bring happiness. They send the child to a private school and they think this school will give my child the best condition for a promising future. So the child goes to that private school and there they are introduced to drugs, to pornography, prostitution. Ideology is totally contrary to what the mother and the father taught the child at home. So the school returns the child to their parents as a different person. Maybe better in terms of knowledge, but way worse in terms of human being. This is the situation we are living in. Why? Because everyone invests on the outside to improve their lives, thinking that there is the true improvement. One of the greatest biblical examples of this is the deliverance of the people of Israel from Egypt. The people of Israel arrived at Egypt first through Joseph, and then their brothers came, then the father, Jacob. They arrived in Egypt with 70 people, and they multiplied. Joseph became the governor of Egypt. They multiplied to the point that the Egyptians were afraid of the growth of the people of Israel. And the situation changed. They thought, if we don't enslave these people, they will take over. So they enslaved the people of Israel, and they were under Pharaoh's yoke for 400 years. And then Moses was sent by God to deliver the people from Egypt. 400 years of slavery, people live triumphantly, go through the Red Sea, they arrive at the foot of Mount Sinai in a journey to the promised land. The people now is free. They're no longer slave. There's no yoke. There's no fear of death. Those exterior situations that they were subjected to for 400 years no longer exist. What did the people did at the desert? What did they do? The people brought Egypt within them. They brought within the idolatry. Moses took 40 days at the Sinai, and the people changed God. Let's make a golden calf. This Moses must have died, so we need a God to guide us. They made a golden calf to guide them in the desert. They changed God. They brought outside what was inside of them. They left Egypt, but Egypt did not leave them. The physical circumstances have changed, but the interior has not changed. And after these people entered the promised land, because some may say, but they were in the desert. No. When they entered the land that was flowing with milk and honey, they did worse. They made other altars, they followed other gods, they changed God for Baal. Why? Because the physical condition of a person will never change. The inner one, never. Quite the contrary. Their physical condition, as prosperous it is, it will make what you have inside greater. It's like people who win the lottery. Whether they get a money or win the lottery out of the blue, what do they do with the money? Reveals what is inside of them. The financial condition improved. What do they do? You see many footballers, when they get rich and famous overnight, a few keep their heads in place, follow their career right, and are fine, even with a lot of money. Others, however, that manifests what was inside of them. The money brings out everything that is inside of them. So it is not the external situation that will change your life. Please, you who are desperate, running after money, if you think that 10, 1,000, 1 million reais, dollars, pounds will change your life, if it changes your life, will change for worse. If your inner situation is worse, so on the outside, if you get better, your inside will just get worse. So what you must look for is the inside, to look what is inside of you, and not to look with your own strength to be better. I will be better, I'll do charity. No, this does not change. The only thing that makes us better is getting closer to the Creator, to the light, to the Lord. He's the one who can make us better, only Him. So if you really want to be better, get closer to God. Invite Him to join your life. If He enters you and if you submit yourself to His will, and then you will see results. And the best thing about all this is that it doesn't cost a penny. Just a decision. If today's video helped you and you know someone that could benefit from it, share it with them, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel, you may do so now. See you later.